If you've ever wondered why the Super Bowl halftime show is such a high-stakes spectacle today, it's because of Michael Jackson. He didn't just play the game, he changed how it was played forever. Before 1993, halftime shows was usually a snooze fest of marching bands. In 1992, ratings dropped so hard during the break that the NFL panicked. They needed the biggest star on earth to save them, and MJ delivered. It was the first time the show got higher ratings than the actual game. Now, it's no secret the NFL doesn't actually pay artists to perform. The exposure is usually the trade-off. But Michael was the first to realize he could use that leverage for something much bigger. He negotiated a massive commitment where the league and its sponsors had to donate to his Heal the World Foundation. He proved that this stage didn't just have to be about entertainment, it could be a moment that actually changed the world. And that power started with his absolute mastery of the smallest details. MJ had a level of precision where even a simple rhythmic snap felt like the entire world was moving to his beat. It wasn't just dancing, it was total mastery. The choreography was so sharp that it didn't matter if you were in the front row or the nosebleeds. You felt every single move, every kick, every spin, and every slide was executed with military-grade force. He didn't just dance, he projected an energy so huge that he made a 100-yard field feel small. But the real magic was how he could flip that energy on a dime to change the entire mood of the stadium. He transitioned seamlessly from the high-energy moonwalks of Billie Jean straight into the emotional weight of Heal the World. To pivot from a club anthem to a global plea without losing the crowd, that's the kind of power only a true icon possesses. He showed the NFL that music could be just as big a draw as the sport itself. But honestly, the most legendary part was the opening. MJ catapulted from the stage, and then he just stood there. For a full 90 seconds, he didn't move or sing. He let 100 million people scream their heads off. Think about the guts it takes to do absolutely nothing on the world's most expensive airtime. It was the ultimate flex of stardom that no one has dared to replicate since. But that bold opening was really just the beginning of a massive shift in how these shows were made. The scale of the production was unlike anything the NFL had ever seen. By the finale, he had a choir of 3,000 local children on the field and a giant globe inflating right in the center of the stadium. But the most mind-blowing visual was the crowd. He had the entire stadium audience hold up cards that created these massive hand-drawn murals of children holding hands. It turned a football field into a global humanitarian summit, turning a boring filler into the world's biggest stage event in America.
But if MJ was the one who built that stage, Prince was the guy who truly mastered it. See, his 2007 show wasn't just a concert, it was basically an act of God. It's still widely considered the greatest halftime show in Super Bowl history, and honestly, for good reason. The fact that it actually rained during Purple Rain is something you couldn't script. It solidified Prince as a force of nature. This performance remains #1 for most people because it felt like a once-in-a-lifetime alignment of talent and timing. Every artist who has taken that stage since 2007 has just been chasing the shadow of this moment. The reason that shadow is so huge is because you just can't replicate that kind of raw, unfiltered talent. Prince was the real deal. In an era where so many artists rely on backing tracks, Prince was 100% live. Think about the skill it takes to play lead electric guitar in a tropical thunderstorm. There was no lip syncing and no safety net, just unfiltered, master-level talent. He showed that a single person with a guitar and a real vision is more than enough to hold everyone's attention without needing a massive production. And that same boldness carried right over into what he chose to play. The way he curated the set list was a total power move. He didn't just stick to his own hits. He essentially took over the entire history of rock and roll, using the iconic rhythm of Queen's "We Will Rock You" to shake the stadium. Then effortlessly wove absolute classics like "Proud Mary" and a Hendrix-inspired "All Along the Watchtower."
the watchtower. Prince is kept a view.
He even threw in a Foo Fighters cover, which was a massive flex, playing a contemporary rock song on the world's biggest stage just to show he could do it better. It wasn't just a performance, he was claiming the entire history of rock and roll.
But the moment that really pushed the night into legendary status was something nobody could have rehearsed. See, it was a total downpour in Miami. Producers were panicking behind the scenes about the electric guitars and the slippery stage. When they called Prince to warn him, his response was legendary. He didn't ask about safety. He just asked, "Can you make it rain harder?" It sounds crazy, but he knew exactly how to turn that chaos into a visual masterpiece. It was like the storm was just the final touch to a stage that was pure genius. He had the whole thing built in the shape of the symbol from his 1992 Love Symbol album, the same unpronounceable sign he famously used to replace his own name. And for the finale, he performed Purple Rain, while a massive white sheet caught his silhouette. It created a larger-than-life shadow against the rain and the lights that felt mythical. Most artists would have struggled just to stay upright, but Prince used the elements to turn a halftime show into a spiritual experience.